This is our iHeartCountry album release party celebrating Time, Tequila, and Therapy out now. It's Wayne D, and how was that to start tonight, y'all? It's good, right? I want to ask some questions now because the title for this album is awesome, first of all. So congratulations on that.
Of course it is.
But did you just go, man, what do we need more of? Time, could use that.
Yeah.
Tequila, sure. Where did it come from?
Those are three things that make everyone feel better.
Valid.
No, it's a line from a song that we'll play you guys later, but it just seemed to sum up the entire thing. It's like it sums up us as a band, and it sums up the year we all went through of just things that maybe we needed. We could use time, we could use tequila, we could use therapy. It just the concept of this entire album was about the process of making it, and the way we made it, it wound up being a snapshot of who we are as people and songwriters and as a band, and that seemed to be the perfect little summation of the snapshot of us in the moment. So Time, Tequila, and Therapy it is.
Well, and speaking of you guys as a band, fans that have followed you since the first album, they know Old Dominion. They love Old Dominion.
Thank
Y'all
you.
are obviously here for Old Dominion. But as you move into this fourth album, how do you stay true to the sound you want to create, but still give people something new?
I mean, I think in some ways it's weird to say, but it's easy. I mean, all we do is sit down there and we grab a couple guitars and we write a song, and then that once that's done, it just comes natural to give the song what it wants, take the direction it wants. That's why you'll hear a lot of different sounds on the record, because sometimes we write a country song, sometimes we write a weird kind of pop song, sometimes we'll write an Eagles song or whatever, so it's like we just kind of take it where it wants to go, and that's what we do. So
when it came time to write this album, obviously the pandemic messed up timing for everything, right? You guys probably had a little more time than normal to put an album out. A big writing session for you guys? And if so, how did you approach it versus albums in the past or songs you've written in the past?
Yeah, so this entire album, the way we usually make albums is, we are songwriters. We write for a year and a half or whatever, just constantly writing, coming up with songs, compiling them, and then when it comes time to go into the studio, we kind of sift through them and figure out which ones are standouts and which ones we want to record. The whole point of this album was COVID obviously shut down touring. Usually we make our albums in those breaks where we're home, so we play 100 shows, and in that span of time we have 2 days off, and we go into the studio and we try really quickly to make the album. So this time we had all this time. We had 3 weeks booked at the studio, and the only thing we brought in there was ourselves. We brought and our ideas. We didn't bring any songs that we had pre-written, so we wrote everything right there in the moment. We would write a song in the morning, and then in the evening we would record it. So everything is very in the moment.
Sometimes things come together great and they make sense, and then sometimes it sounds like waffles and ketchup, right? Just follow me here for a second. Old Dominion and Gladys.
Careful, you might name our next album.
That's the next album. Spoiler alert. How the heck does Old Dominion get together with Gladys Knight? How does that work?
Solid. Yeah, we asked that question too, but it was one of those things that, the stars sort of aligned, We had written this song called Lonely Side of Town, and we were listening to it, sitting in the studio and thinking about how it sounded like a Motown kind of vibe, and thought, man, it would be cool to have some Motown person like Gladys Knight. Wouldn't that be cool? And then somebody was like, yeah, well, she lives here in Nashville, right? And we were like, what? And we were like, yeah, she lives right down the road. So we thought, wow, okay, we have to call her. I wonder how we get a hold of her. And the studio manager was like, well, I'm great friends with her and her husband, so I can call if you want. And I remember we were standing out in the hallway, and Shane McAnally, our producer, was like, okay, lead with Grammy nominated. Tell her that they've been nominated for a Grammy and they actually have hits. They're a legit band. So she was like, okay. But it turns out she surprisingly knew who we were and said, absolutely, I love those guys. I follow their music. I would love to be a part of it. She didn't even hear the song. She just said, yes, I will do it. So just meant to be.
This would be a great segue to play the song, but we're not going to do that.
It's such a great story. We appreciate you guys.